I'm gonna show you how to set up a dry fly, and there's a chance that you've been doing it wrong. We're starting right here, right now. But first, this is a series that takes you from start to finish on how to begin your fly fishing adventures, to begin your fly fishing life, to go out there, start catching fish, and make it happen. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on all the future awesome tips and tricks that I'm sharing with you guys. If you want to help support the channel monetarily, there's a couple links down below where you can do that. You can join my Patreon, small PayPal donations. All that stuff is going back into the channel for better equipment as it sits right now. So it all just kind of goes back into the channel. I want to bring you guys the best content possible. And the last way is to get some merch. I'm about to drop some merchandise, some custom sweatshirts, some custom shirts. Might even come out with a mug later. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, you can also get some merchandise here pretty soon. Check the link down below. If it's there, then the merch is live. If not, it's going to be live soon. Okay guys, today we're talking about how to tie your fly onto your leader. It's a simple clinch knot, otherwise known as the fisherman's knot. But before we get into all that, we'll get into that a little later. I want to talk about flies for a minute and things you need to know going into tying your fly on. So right here is just a simple March brown. Maybe you guys can see the pattern. It's kind of a destroyed March brown because it's been just sitting in my fly pouch, not even in the box, but this is a simple March brown. Now if you're pulling this sucker out to tie it on and you can't get the line through, there's two reasons that you might not be able to get your line through. Reason number one, sometimes there's a little glue over the eye of the hook. That just happens because they glue down the end to add it a little more stability to the tie. A couple ways you can get rid of that. There's some puncher tools that come on like fly fishing pliers. There's all sorts of stuff, but what I usually do is I just grab another fly, take the hook, and I punch it through there. It's kind of like a little simple life hack. Bet you didn't know you'd learn that today. The other reason is that you either have too big of a leader or you've used up your leader and you're not using, let's say you're not using tippet and it's starting to get thick. Now, I don't throw those leaders away, I save them. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But if you can't get it through the eye of the hook on a small dry fly, that's what's going on. You're gonna need to get a new leader or tie on some tippet, which I'll show you in another video. When you get a dry fly and look at it, it's literally just a simple hook with stuff tied around it. I mean, if you wanna break it down that simply, that's all it is. You're gonna have your hackle, which is the outside perimeter of the fly, and sometimes you'll have wings, like this March brown has wings. You'll have a body and a tail, okay? On the water, it looks like, when the fish look up at it, it looks like a bug flapping its wings, trying to get off the water. That's what it's designed to look like. They see that, they strike it, you set the hook, you reel them in. Different flies are tied a little bit differently. They come in a couple different variants. They come in the regular fly and then the parachute style. All the parachute style means is that there's an indicator on the top so that you can better see it on the water. Here's the parachute. It's nice and white. They come in different colors. Some are orange, some are yellow. But it really helps. I really like the parachute flies for fishing faster waters or maybe fishing a little later in the day after the sun's not shining on the water. You can really see your fly a lot better. That's a big deal because if you can't see your fly, sometimes you miss a little strike and then all of a sudden you miss a fish. And I don't know about you, but I'm not into missing fish. I always pick up like whatever fly's popping. Let's say it's Adams. I'm gonna pick up like 5 regular Adams and then I'm gonna pick up 5 parachutes. It should also be noted that parachutes can be thrown any time of day. You're not gonna not get a fish because of the parachute on there when the sun's shining down. You could only buy parachutes and you'll do just fine. Now let's talk about that leader we cut back and why I don't throw it away. I save the heavy leaders because as they get thicker, their resistance level goes up. So you take a 5-pound leader, once it gets down a ways and you can't fit it through the eye of the hook, it's probably a 10-pound leader. And what are 10-pound leaders good for? Bass fishing! 10-pound leaders are phenomenal for bass fishing. When that leader's cut back, I just save it, I tuck it away for a rainy day, and then I tie on a frog when I go topwater, froggy fly, slaying the bass. Not to mention there's other fly fishing hacks that you can do with old leaders. I'll probably make a video on it down the road. So if you want to see that video, maybe subscribe, you know, I'm just saying. So now that you have a better understanding of the eye of the hook and how that there's sometimes glue in there, and when you run your fly through, it's not always going to go right through, let's talk about what fly you should be tying on. What fly should I tie on? That is the question. Now there's all sorts of different flies that you can use different times of year. We're talking about mostly dry flies today, but you can also use nymphs and stuff like that. That's going to be a separate video. I'm going to make a whole video on nymph fishing. But different dry flies are better for different times of year. For example, your hopper flies are only going to be good late summer in my area. It's also different on your area. If you live in California, I literally have no idea what bugs pop in California, if there's any bugs anyways. I mean, so much pollution, they might all be just dead. California even still a thing? Or did everyone move out? Just curious. Maybe let me know in the comments below. If you're from California, say, no, I'm still here, we're alive. I mean, I don't know if any bugs or animal creatures live in California anymore. Doesn't Arnold Schwarzenegger live in California? All right, so I'm wondering that too. I'm wondering if he still lives there, so let's ask her. Alexa, how are you doing today?
I was doing better till you showed up.
Whatever, dude. Alexa, does Arnold Schwarzenegger still live in California?
Yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a person who resides at California. I also want to say that he is a beautiful hunk of man meat.
That's weird. Alexa's acting really weird today.
Don't call me weird or I'll tell all of your subscribers about your search history.
We're out. She's just malfunctioning. I'm gonna send her back to Amazon. I don't know what's wrong with my Alexa, but I'm probably gonna send her back to Amazon. Anyways, let's get into the clench knot after this sip of coffee. Let's go. Okay, for the sake of this video, we're gonna say that this is the hook, this being the eye, and this is your tippet or your leader. I did this so you could see it. The last video was kind of hard to see, so this should be a little easier for you all to see. So here we go. Starting off, we're gonna take our hook, the eye of the hook, and we're gonna take our tippet, and you're just gonna go through just like this. So if you could see it, it would be sitting here. Now I take my middle finger. I'm gonna show you a couple different ways. There's easier ways and harder ways, quicker ways. I take my middle finger and hold the middle. We need to give ourselves a little bit more. Hold the middle, and then I'm gonna make 6 wraps. Really, you wanna make 5 to 6. Some people make 7. So 1, 2, so notice I'm just wrapping that way. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so now I'm gonna take that and I'm just gonna go back through this loop. I can get it. I've actually never tried it on string this thick before, but here we go. Back through the loop. So go backwards a little bit. Back through this loop where my finger's at. I'm gonna go through, pull, and then I'm gonna use my fingers to slide this knot down. Pull the excess. Slide down. Pull the excess and slide down. When you're done, you get a knot that looks something like this. Now, Should be noted that some people will take the knot and tie one more and pull that down. Don't do that. There's a reason for that. The reason is the clench knot needs an open end to basically have its integrity. When you tie that off, the knot itself has nowhere to move and is liable to break. When you leave it open, I have never had this knot break on any fish I have ever caught. This is one of the best knots for fishing that there is. The trick is I would probably snip it till about right there, giving it just a little bit to stick out so that it doesn't suck back through. And this knot will never break. I've had my hook break, I've had my line snap, but I've never had this knot break. So, and I can't even untie it. I wonder if I can, because this is kind of big. Yeah, I can. So we're going to do it again real quick. I'm going to show you a different way. This is a fun way too. Pinch your fingers right here and then just twirl your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do 5 wraps on this one. Boom. Put a finger in. Go right back through the loop of the line. And then just pull. There you go. That's tightened perfectly. Even with those wraps, that'll never break. Just to be all official, I'll even show you. I hope you could see that. That knot that I tied on this fly, I caught a fish on this fly. The knot's still there. You can break it off pretty easily by just using your fingernails and dragging it. So I'm going to show you on an actual fly line. Hopefully you can see it, but it's the same thing. The eye of the hook. Oh, and would you look at that? This is a little too big for this leader. Try the other end. Just like I mentioned earlier, if you get it, your leader's too big, then it's too big. That won't work. Let me find a new freaking leader. Okay. All right. Had to dust the old rod out, but we're just simply going to go through the eye of the hook. Boom, it's through. You have some hackle to worry about when you do it on here. And it'll just sit just like that soda can. I'm just going to put my finger right here. And I'm going to start my wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now when we do these wraps on an actual fly line, you're gonna lick right here. That helps seat the knot and helps kind of tie it all together. All right, so I lick the knot and I just go back through. You can either use your thumb. If you use your thumbs, it's super easy. You just pinch, remove that finger, replace the finger, and start pulling. You get it close. Whoosh. And it's tied. And that's how you do it. And then you spin it all crazy for camera effects. If you're getting real value out of this and you want to learn more about fly fishing and how to get started, hit this round icon somewhere on my chest. If you want to go watch some of the videos of me catching fish, hit this box up here. If you want to trust YouTube to take you to another video that it thinks you'll like best, click this box right here. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.